It seems to me like generative AI can do pretty much anything, and especially with the pace at which it's advancing, can do some pretty scary stuff. But today, I have decided that we're going to put one of these generative AIs to the test and eventually compare it to other generative AIs. Today, we're going to be using Google Bard here, and we're going to see if Google Bard can build us a perfect, beautiful, utopian city. And the means we're going to use to test Google Bard City is Cities Skylines. So first, we're going to ask Bard a couple questions about how it wants to design its city, what it wants to have. I'm going to tell it like the freedoms and choices it has, and then we're going to build that city, and we're going to see how good of a city it is. So first, I'm going to ask Bard, hello, are you familiar, if I could spell, with Cities Skylines? Let's see what it says. It's loading. Oh, okay. Nice. Okay, so not only does it have an idea of what the game is, but it actually has a list of the best mods. I wonder where it's getting that from. So let's ask Google Bard. I want you to design a city in Cities Skylines that is a utopia. This city should emphasize, I'm trying to think about how to word this so that it gets it, the convenience of the people that live in it, and it should also minimize traffic because we all hate traffic. Let's see here. Let's just start with that, and then I'll ask it for more specifics in a moment. I want to ask it for the shape, the districts. Okay, so it's giving us a generic public transportation. Okay. Let's try a little harder here. I need a more specific design. Please provide me with the overall shape of the city and specific roadways / districts. Let's see if it's even capable of this. Come on. Okay, here we go. So, now we're getting some details. Okay, so overall shape. The city should be designed in a circular or elliptical shape. This will allow for easy transportation as all parts of the city will be equidistant from the center. Should have a grid-like road system. This will allow for efficient traffic flow. Should be divided into districts. Okay, that's pretty... where in our circular city should we put the different districts? Where should we put schools, power generation buildings, and what else is there in City Skylines? I don't even remember. Public, we'll just say public services for now. Services. Let's see what we get here. Have fun. Okay, I will have fun. Also says use mods. That's so interesting. This is interesting. The residential district should be located in the center of the city, commercial on the outskirts, and industrial at the edge. Okay, interesting. The green district, which I've never heard of. That could be a me problem. Schools should be located in the residential district, close to where children live. Power generation in the industrial and public services should be located throughout the city. Consider the flow of traffic. Okay. Final question for Google Bard. Please specify the number of lanes and type of roads that should be used in this city. We want it to be specific, so I'm going to tell it to do that. Be specific about how many lanes the outer circle roads and the grid roads should have. Because right now we have an outer, or we have a circle or an ellipse with like a grid inside of it, which I think is interesting. 4 lanes. Oh boy. Okay. So the outer circle should be made of a durable. Okay. Final question. Where should the highway connections to this city be? Let's see what we get. Okay. So on the outskirts. Okay. Again, it's being a little generic, but I get the idea. Okay, so Google Bard has given us basically like the stipulations for a city that we can build. It's given us a lot of details here that I can sort through to build this city. So now we're going to go over into Cities Skylines. We're going to build Bardtopia here, and we're going to see, is this actually a good idea? Is the AI actually capable of building something that works well? We're going to find out. Okay, so here we are in Cities Skylines now. I've got the Two Rivers map going here, and I also have the unlimited money mod on and the progression everything unlocked mod on. So we're going to keep it relatively small scale just for a proof of concept. But I'm going to try to build a city that faithfully follows what Google Bard set out for us. So first, we're going to start with the circle. It's going to be a good old 2-lane circle. I also want to, let me just unlock more area. Just in case. Yeah, there we go. And then we can we'll make it like here. It's going to be great, guys. It's going to be great. So let's get our 2-lane road. Let's start right here. We're in curved road mode. Let's go over by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sure. And then up by 8. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nice. Same thing. So let me count here. Counting is hard for me, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right there. And then we go 8 over. So it's probably here. But let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes! My guesswork is impeccable. Okay, now this is the hard part because of the trees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nice! Look at that guesswork. There. And then another 8 down. So there's that 90 degree. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Man, I'm good. And then let's line this up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we complete the circle. There she is. Not perfect. Kind of a fat circle. But it is a circle. Now, let's continue with the layout of our city here. So, it does say to use a grid-like system in the center of the city. Now, it did. This is not ChatGPT. I'm getting confused. This is Bard's words, not mine. It says, technically, to use 2-lane dirt or gravel roads for the interior. And since I am trying to faithfully recreate what it has told us to do, I am going to do that as much as this is about to cause me physical pain. So, here we go with our dirt roads. I'm going to start our grid by going corner to corner here. Oh, wait, I'm in curved road mode. Okay, let's do not curved road. Here to here. Nice. Oh, this is just going swimmingly so far. That looks like the middle, right? Yeah, right? Not quite. Yeah, sure, guys, sure, yeah. I did a good job making a circle, yes. Ah, nice. Listen, it's not perfect, but it is mine. Okay, so let's continue our grid. Well, actually, let me not be dumb about this. Let me try at least a little bit. So there we go. So it said to make a grid, so that's exactly what we're going to do now. We're going to make a big old grid here. We're going to start in this direction, and then we'll go the other direction. So let's continue this here. Yeah, there we go. I am curious how much the use of dirt roads is going to hinder the city's operation. I don't really know what's going to happen with that. I think it could be fine, especially if there are enough roads, but there are going to be so many intersections. Oh, it wants to get all curvy. Whatever. It's not my job to fix it, just my job to build it. Yeah, there are going to be a lot of intersections, and there's going to be a lot of, like, traffic. So how much of a problem the dirt road is going to be, I don't know. Maybe this actually is just a brilliant way to build cities, and we all should learn from Google Bard and its unending intelligence. There we go. Let's get our grid finished here. Okay. Okay. I'm going to cut the recording real quick while I finish this grid, and then we're going to do the district zoning and then add public service buildings. Okay, guys, so I finished the grid circle thing. It looks like a giant waffle. My instincts tell me it's probably not going to work very well. But again, we're here to see what happens. So now we're going to start doing the zoning. So I'm going to use all high density for this because we said city. So we're going to make it a city. It said residential at the center and then commercial in the edges or the outskirts, and then industrial at the edges. So that's exactly what we're going to do here. So these are like our center 4 squares. I'm going to zone all this. So time is still paused, so I'm going to keep it paused. We're going to zone all this residentially. Let's do also these. So like this and this and this and this and this and these two. What if in the future we just let robots design our cities like this, and then they make really weird stuff like this waffle city we got going on here? So let's do this. We don't want to do too much or too little residential, because I know that we need citizens in our city. We can't just have a city of commercial buildings because there are no robots in Cities Skylines. Oh, why did I do that? No. Can I remove? Yeah, there we go. Okay. So let's add this here. Yeah. Sure. Looks pretty good to me. And then we'll add, you know what? I'm going to add a couple extra here. I don't know. I just feel like this is going to be too much commercial otherwise. Let's add this. Let's add this and this and there. Yeah, that feels better. That feels better. It looks a little off-center, but it's fine. It's fine. Okay, so now the commercial. So commercial is the next ring. So we're going to add all these commercial districts here. Kind of like a solid ring around the residential, and then the outskirts will be industrial. So let's add all of these commercial. And then after this, we're going to add the public service buildings and then the power buildings as well. We're going to need a lot of power. And I think it said to put the power on the outskirts. I have to check. I have to check. It's jobs like this that I'm confident cannot be outsourced to AI just yet. So let's do this one and this one. As usual, I'm taking creative liberties with my creations. Let's do a bit more commercial. Yeah, okay. So I will finish the zoning, and then we'll come back and add the public service buildings. Okay, so I have finished our districting system. So if you have a look here, this is what I came up with. This is definitely way too much industrial zone, but that's just the way it panned out. And I'm not particularly concerned about it right now. So actually, let me remove these areas. But yeah, so this is what we're looking at. Pretty straightforward. We adhered to Bard's guidance. We put the residential at the center, and then the commercial in a ring around that, and then the industrial on the outside. I also added the power utility here. This is a high wind area, and it's close to the city on the outskirts, just like Bard said. I didn't ask it about water, but I just went ahead and added the water as well because it's pretty straightforward. There's not much decision making to be made there. But now we're going to distribute public services throughout the city. So we've got a couple. Oh, the hospital's literally too big. Let's add the hospital here. So it just said to distribute these throughout the city. So I'm going to just put them in random places. We got a crematorium, or we'll add that, I don't know, there and here to cover our elder. So we need some child care. Yeah. Maybe a little child care over there and an elder care center. I'm going to put that on the outskirts because, you know, put the old people on the outside. That's horrible. I shouldn't say that. Firehouse. Fire station? Yeah, fire station. There. And one over here. And maybe one here. Yeah. Okay, police. We'll do a police headquarters right in the center of town because this is basically Gotham City at this point. And then police stations all around. Just notice how I'm just randomly putting them wherever I feel like. Okay, education. We want to be close to the residential areas, so elementary schools in the center-ish area. University we can put further out, maybe like over. Oh, does it even fit? Okay, it fits barely there. Public library, sure. High school. Everybody loves high school. Put some there. And then I asked it about trash collection, and it said to put it on the outskirts. So I'm going to put just like a landfill right here. 3 landfill, even though I know from playing this game, this is horrible landfill placement. But it's fine. It also said we should have a train station near the entryway to the city. So I'm going to do a car. Well, we'll do passenger train. The question is though, where is the railway? Is there a railway? There is not, at least that I can see. So we'll leave the railway out for now. It did tell us to have a port as well. So let me see. You get a passenger terminal. Yeah, harbor. Cannot connect to route. Okay, maybe I need roads. That would make sense. Let's do 2-laner. We can take it out here. And then we'll just... yeah, sure, guys. This city's gonna be a horrible monstrosity. Look for a dotted line to the sea. Oh. I see. For some reason. Okay, so we'll leave the harbor out for now, too. So I'm just going to demolish this. We'll keep it basic. Yeah, okay. Alright, so I might have missed some small things, but I think I've added everything at this point. What we're going to do now is I'm going to hit the play button, and we're just going to kind of see, like, what happens. How does the city shape up? And then we're going to take a look at some of the maps, like the traffic and stuff, and see how how things pan out for our poor little people here. So, welcome to Bardtopia. I'm gonna hit play. Okay, enough with you, Twitter bird. Speed things up a little bit. So we're getting our buildings put in here. Everybody needs power, which should get fixed momentarily, but just in case it doesn't. Power and water. I didn't connect the water service. I'm a horrible mayor. And I also didn't connect the power to these guys or to these guys. There we go. Okay, we're getting our first buildings, guys. We're getting our first buildings in Bardtopia. I'm gonna speed things up, really get it going here. The city's first power plant. You're a little behind. You know, again, this is horrible, but okay, that's too tight. My 3080 is spinning up. I can hear it. There we go. Okay. That gives power. Yeah, okay. We can demolish that later once the city has expanded. So now we have our buildings coming in. And if we look at cars, there's no traffic on these roads yet. Okay. Oh, there is the traffic. And oh boy, there's a lot of it. Everybody's coming in. No one is coming out. And look at, they're starting to spread on the dirt roads here. Oh, that's so funny. Look at them all on their little dirt roads. Okay, so I'm going to give it some time. I'm going to step away for a moment and see how this city grows and expands, and then we'll come back and have a look at how well does it actually work. Okay, so it's time for a little check-in on Bardtopia here. So I've let it run for quite a while. It's about like 10-15 minutes in real-world time. Couple things developing already. We have this lovely, what I would like to call the pollution ring, developing around the outside of the city. This is, of course, to keep the outsiders out and to keep the central residential area safe. There are a lot of abandoned commercial buildings. In fact, almost every commercial building in this ring is abandoned. This is probably mostly my fault because I think there are simply too many of them, and also the population is still increasing, so there aren't really enough workers just yet. And we've got the beginnings of our industrial zone ring around the outside, but as you can see, it hasn't fully formed yet. There's still a lot of open space. I did add the train network on the edge here, connected up with these train tracks here. And I also added an additional connection here to the highway. One of the big things that I thought would be an issue right away was this road being completely clogged up, but it actually is not. I mean, it's not that bad yet. We'll see what happens. So I'm going to let it run for a little longer because the population is still increasing pretty steadily. We're going to try to reach some kind of steady state, and then we'll have a good look at how well Bardtopia works. So here she is, Bardtopia, the city designed by Google's AI, Bard. This is it. I've let it ride for almost an hour now. It's this beautiful, really funky looking circular city. I think for one thing, it looks really cool. That's some points right there. Let's pause time so it doesn't get to be night. We're gonna do like an analysis now and see how well did Google's Bard AI do. So the first thing I want to look at is traffic. Yeah, so traffic. So this is actually really interesting, I think. We have this city where we have an outer ring and then just these center literally dirt roads. Like if we go out this map here, they're literally just dirt roads. Like they're not even paved. There's no like stop signs or anything. It's just vibes once you get into the center of the city. But if we look at the traffic map, what's interesting is the biggest choke points are this secondary entryway and Additionally, like the first entryway, and there's a little bit of traffic within the actual city itself, but not actually that much. So the dirt roads, cost effective, low traffic, pretty good move. There's also this weird spot here. I think it has to do with the train stations. And obviously the train traffic is horrible, but no surprise there. So traffic, not too bad. I'm honestly kind of impressed. Also, another thing that's probably helping is a lot of people seem to be walking. Unemployed. They're working. Okay. A lot of walking, so I think that's reducing traffic as well. So on the traffic front, pretty good. Now we will look at the education availability. So I distributed these schools throughout. It honestly pretty good coverage. We don't have a lot of educated citizens yet, but that's just because it hasn't had time to equalize. With the schools distributed, like it said, seems like we've got plenty of availability. I just didn't build enough high schools. But yeah, looks pretty good on the education front. Now if we look at health, so the center of the city where the residential buildings are supposed to be, everyone is very healthy. There's lots of health care. The residential districts that are closer to the industrial area, obviously not as healthy, but the commercial zone acts as a good buffer, so that's another area where the AI actually did a pretty good job. Now, what else can we look at? So if we look at transport, we can look at how many people are using the trains. Not that many. I have 2 passenger stations, so most people are opting for cars. We got 10 tourists per week, which I think is pretty funny. If we look at our land value, it's pretty much what you'd expect. The center of the city, the residential area, has very high land value, whereas the outskirts, it's low, it's polluted, which leads us into the other thing. Where is the map mode? I gotta find it now. Well, population is interesting too. So you can see where our residential districts are pretty densely populated. Natural resources, of course, we've destroyed all of those with our overdevelopment. Pollution. So this is the interesting part, right? There's a ton of pollution on the outside of the city, the outskirts, in these industrial zones, but there's none in the center. And, while you might think like, oh, you want to put the commercial districts at the center of town, it actually was a pretty good idea to put the residential at the center with the commercial as a buffer, because we have these residential areas that are completely clean, but the industrial areas which are polluted are far away from them, and the overall footprint of the city is pretty small. So again, that's something I didn't expect to see that I'm actually pretty impressed with. So there you have it. This is Bardtopia. It's a little quirky, but it does actually work, and it is a city design that has some perks that I didn't expect. So consider me impressed with Bard's ability to design a city in Cities Skylines. What will really be interesting, in my opinion, is I want to try the same thing with ChatGPT and with Bing, and we'll have the 3 cities side by side. We'll see which one performs the best in the sense of number of citizens, citizen happiness, average citizen health. So if you guys would be interested in seeing ChatGPT doing this, let me know. We can definitely try that. But that is going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching Google's Bard AI try to build this cursed waffle city. Like I said, if you want to see ChatGPT and Bing do it, let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.